Hi everyone, welcome back. Some more on angles, just some of the basics and the really simple ones. Now, there's always what I talk about, the magic numbers. When I talk about angles, if you go, most people will know if you go all the way around the circle, spin all the way around, come back to where you were, you've gone through 360 degrees. People talk about donuts. If you're on skateboards and you spin around twice, you know you've got two lots of 360, and I watch ice skating and all sorts of things where they do lots of spins and they talk about the angles. But the big one is 360 degrees. And if we cut that in half, we get 180 degrees. And they're the really common numbers that we're talking about angles. Another one, if you cut that in half, is 90 degrees. And most of you probably be right at the corner there, the corner of a room, any section we've got, corners of books again, anything like that, they're all 90 degrees. If I look around my room just here, though, I've got lots that aren't 90 degrees. For example, that corner just here is not 90 degrees. It's one of those funny angles. So let's have a look at what's going on. We're looking for 360s, 180s and 90s. A triangle, if you can brainwash yourself, adds up to 180. If I had wanted to make a really simple video on it, which I haven't got time to today, I could get a piece of paper as a triangle, cut out the three corners, put them together and they make a straight line. They go like straight across the edge at the bottom here. So what are we looking for? This one's about 180. So we're going to go 180 minus the 80 and minus the 60, and that gives us the answer to the question. If you wanted to be fussy, you could go A equals the 180 minus the 80 minus the 60. Now a lot of people do it in their head, but there are a lot of people out there who just really struggle with the idea. Number one, that we're using 180, almost like to do a little fancy thing here and go look. We are talking about an angle of 180, total of all the angles of 180. So we're going to subtract the 80, subtract the 60, and we'll see what's left over. So when I do that, 180 take 80 is 100, I made it easy numbers. Subtract the 60 is 40 degrees. And that doesn't mean that this diagram has exactly 40 degrees. We talk about it's not drawing the scale. So we're not talking about picking up a protractor and measuring it. We're talking about doing the calculations. Back to magic numbers. If I put two triangles together, I end up with a quadrilateral. So instead of having 180 degrees, this one's going to be 360 degrees. Works the same as what we did a moment ago, but those four angles, if you cut them out and put them together, they'll go all the way around and they'll basically form, you could call it a circle, but they go all the way around the point and they're 360. So when I sort of nag about three-sided triangle, it's a triangle, 180, four-sided is 360, and you can go to more shapes, but for today, we're just going to go those. So what's the rule going to be? I've got B, so I'm going to go B is 360. Subtract, let's go on the easy one first. Let's go subtract the 100, and then subtract the 70, and then subtract the 95 when we get what the angle is. So most of you in tests that I'm going to have, you can pick up your calculator and just go 360 minus 100 minus the 70 minus 95, press equals and get your answer anyway. So I'm going to do it, that's 260 minus 70 is 190, minus 95 is another 95. So that angle here actually works out to be 95 degrees. So two straight lines that cross over. We've got that one on the top and that one on the bottom are the same. You can talk about the rules like they're vertically opposite angles. If you wanted to, you can go back to looking at, this is acute angle, and the one next to it is obtuse, and the one next to that's acute, and the one next to that's obtuse. And you can see that those two angles are both acute and they're the same size, and they're both obtuse and they're the same size. So really you don't have to think about any of that, but if it helps you, you can just go that C equals 115 degrees. And for a lot of students, they have to write down the reasons, because the teachers say write down the reasons, and that's called vertically opposite angles. Now one over here that sort of looks like vertically opposite angles, but it's not quite the same, is really all we've got. If I rub this bit off here, we've just got a straight line. And the straight line is back to the magic numbers, is 180. So any straight line is 180 degrees. So all I've got to think about is I go that D equals 180 minus 60. So you've got the 180 minus 60, and you've got 120, and you've just got the D equals 120. Oh, I hope it helps. I'll make some more in a minute.